right, welcome to Wet Your Palate. Today we're here at Petco Park, and we've got a very special guest.
Mark Loretta is here with us. Dude, he's with the Padres, man, right now.
Yeah.
Like, he did 15 seasons in Major League Baseball, okay? Anywhere from the Brewers to the Red Sox.
You make it seem like a sentence, though. Did 15 years? A hard time.
So we just wrapped up our national sales meeting. We got to sit down with Mark here, and we went through a number of things, everything from the military support that you guys do at the
Yes.
Padres, recruitment, what you guys do for training. I mean, there was a lot of good stuff that we were talking about.
So much appreciate your partnership, too. It's been a win-win for everybody, and I know the fans love having your wine here.
We are glad they love it.
Good.
And got a good thing going. We'll keep it moving.
Absolutely.
Do you think that there will ever be a time when a woman is in MLB?
Great question. Great question. I think it's possible, absolutely. I think the most likely chance is probably on the mound as a pitcher. You know, maybe
That's interesting.
Yeah,
I would have thought that.
Yeah, you know, we have a pitcher here who throws a knuckle ball, for example, which I think you know, certainly, you know, a female could probably do. You know, the velocity's gotten so high. I don't know if they could compete at the level of with the miles an hour for the pitches, but I think it's possible, absolutely. Yeah.
That'd be very interesting to see.
It would be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah. There are a lot more females in the coaching ranks and in our front office than there ever were before. Some major league teams actually have not only, you know, trainers or whatever, but actual coaches who are females. On coaches on the I think there's a first base coach for the Giants, so there was. So it's starting to integrate a lot more in that regard.
Okay.
Yeah.
And, I mean, forgive my knowledge about pitching, but we were talking about the knuckle ball. So is that being like the fastest pitch or
No, the slowest.
the slowest pitch?
That's
okay.
the mind fuck pitch.
Yeah. Yeah. There's another term called E56, which is more of a lob, but knuckleball is literally you're trying to take all the spin off the ball, and what happens is it really floats around and moves in a crazy way.
Oh, whoa.
So,
But and correct me if I'm wrong, but they try to make it look like it's going to be a fast pitch.
not so much with the knuckleball. Knuckleball is just like you're just hoping on the movement, and
okay.
it's literally 20, 30 miles below what a fastball would be. So it's a timing issue, it's a movement issue. There was a guy that I played with in Boston, unfortunately passed away, Tim Wakefield, who made a great career out of throwing basically just knuckleballs. We always said, boy, you got a lot of balls because you're lobbing this thing up and these huge hitters, and then you're like, 60 feet away. But he had a great career doing that. So.
And if I could ask, so in your career, do you have like any stories that stand out as highlights of seeing something in a game that like you just would never see? Like, for example, if you saw someone just hitting, I don't know, like the most home runs in a row or something like that, or someone getting kicked out for doing a dance on the field showboating. I don't know. Like,
Has a player ever streaked?
yes.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually, I really, as players, you sort of enjoy when the fans run on the field because it's kind of fun to watch the security guards chase them down and try to tackle them.
Yeah.
It's
Wait,
pretty
do the
interesting.
players that
However, I have not a funny story. This is a crazy story.
Okay.
So I'm playing in Milwaukee early in my career. We're playing the Astros. And all of a sudden, we're on offense, so we're in the dugout. The Astros are pitching, or playing the field. All of a sudden, everybody on the field starts running towards right field, and we're like, "What's going on?" And so we're thinking there's maybe a brawl in our bullpen or something like that. Turns out a fan had jumped over the wall and attacked their right fielder, Billy Spires, jumped on his back there. So both teams run out there and just kick the shit out of this guy. And it was the most bizarre thing because usually when you go out, you're fighting the other team. Yeah. This was like 60 dudes on one guy.
Oh man.
It was a bad choice on his. He probably he had obviously overserved and probably had a bet on it, but that was crazy.
I was just wondering if they had to like maybe try to organize a line. So make sure everyone got a hit.
No.
Yeah.
And actually, the security guard sort of had to protect him as well because it was anyway, that was nuts. Speaking of other things that happened, so I I was kind of a young player in 1998, and you may remember there was a big home run race in 1998 between
Yeah.
Sammy Sosa and Mark McGwire.
Yeah.
Coming out of the strike in 1994, these two guys were trying to break Babe Ruth's all-time record, et cetera. So that was the year I was getting married in the fall of '98, and I'm thinking about what am I going to give my groomsmen? Cigar holder, lighter, or something. My dad's got, you got to do something around baseball, because most of my groomsmen were going to be teammates or whatever, high school friends. So I ended up I sent 12 balls over to Mark McGwire when we played them and said, hey, with a note, can you please sign these? I'm getting married. He goes, oh yeah, no problem. And then when Sosa came in, I sent the same 12 over, and he signed them as well. So I had 12 balls signed by McGwire and Sosa in 1998 during the home run chase. And I gave them, I didn't even keep one for myself because I ended up having 12 groomsmen who stood up. I don't think any of those balls, exist. I mean, they're one of a kind.
Yeah.
And then, of course, all the steroid allocations came out, and so they probably got devalued after that. But, that was kind of a cool groomsmanship.
That's a part of history.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
and there is the ongoing debate with professional sports, which I think the majority want no drugs.
Yeah.
But there's a minority group that's like, let them be gladiators. Let them do whatever they want and be as big as they can get and go as hard as they possibly can.
Yeah.
And I mean, I don't know. It'd be interesting to see a different league where it's just like, get juiced up and let's see some people die. I don't know. I think that's what would happen.
I think it gets crazy too when you start thinking about supplements, right? There's kind of like that dangerous line of, you could just straight up be taking steroids, illegal steroids, but there's now things that can actually raise your testosterone, right? And I think back in the day would be like if you were taking like androstenedione or some of these other things that can actually have you test positive, even though that you haven't actually been purposely doing illegal steroids.
Yeah, it's a great
How does
point.
that work? Yeah.
It's a great point because they call it performance-enhancing drugs. Okay, well, are 3 cups of coffee versus 2 performance-enhancing? Does that give a guy, really locked in? Or, if a guy has ADD and he's on Adderall, should that be allowed? Because that's sort of an upper.
Yeah.
I think sports and leagues have done a lot of research and trial and error on like, okay, we're really going after the anabolic steroids where it's like, stuff that you would give a horse or something. Obviously that's going to be banned, but it's tricky. It's a tough issue.
Yeah, where's the line?
Where's the line?
Yeah, because I completely agree with you on that. Yeah, you could
Yeah.
justify caffeine, something as simple as caffeine. Is
Correct. And in the Olympics, I
performance-enhancing.
think you can't take cold medicine, you can't take Sudafed, you can't. There's a really strict level of stuff that you have to avoid.
Okay.
But again, multivitamin, is that performance enhancing? I don't know.
I mean, yeah, some of these B vitamins now. I mean, methylene B vitamins
Well,
are getting
if you
strong.
talk
Now
to
you're going to
somebody-
get me into some biohacking.
Talk to somebody.
I'm trying to
Yeah,
drop that
he's
down.
big into biohacking.
Do you
It's,
cold plunge?
I do.
Boom. See
I
that? This guy
cryo.
right here.
I'm a cryo freezer.
Oh, I love it.
Yeah.
You do cryo?
Cryo's awesome.
I don't do cryo
Yo,
yet.
don't?
he doesn't cold plunge. He just,
I just do
does it to
cold.
his
I do
ribs.
cold showers.
Yeah, that's good.
But no,
Yeah.
I got a PEMF mat.
Yeah.
And that thing seems to work pretty well.
Yeah. Hey, as we get older, we need everything we can.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Infrared saunas. Love that.
Yes, Mark. That's what I'm talking about.
Chris, yeah.
Yeah, so you do the sauna and then you'll do the cold plunge.
Absolute contrast,
Boom,
for
boom,
sure.
Yeah.
For sure. Yeah.
So now within this franchise, and comparing it to when you were in the sport, deep in the sport, it seems like just talking about these things, right? Biohacking, the availability of what's going to help you not just progress your physical abilities, but also help you repair yourself quicker. What have you seen over just the last 15, 20 years?
drastically different.
Is it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, if you went down in our training room here now, I mean, you would see a float tank, you would see a cryotherapy thing, you'd see 4 or 5 different trainers, 2 massage therapists. It's all about that recovery. To your point.
Yeah.
I mean, you play every day, so it's like, how can you be fresh for the next day?
So what did you have in your?
I mean, we had of course massage therapists and trainers and that kind of thing, but it wasn't a huge they have a dietitian on staff. We didn't have that. They're very very conscious about what they put out for food for players, things like that. When I coached a year with the Cubs, and there was a sleep room. There's several beds in there. It was quiet. It had like some nice little music going. Players could go in there, an hour before the game and take a 20-minute nap just to sort of rejuvenate. That would have been ragdoll. We would have made fun of that
you would have got
in our day. But now it's kind of mainstream.
Well, now, I was like impressed. A float tank.
Yeah.
Now you're doing some Joe Rogan like
Oh,
in that meditation mode too for recovery.
Sure.
So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so when a player is, is this driven by the players? I guess is what I'm asking. So if they come up and they say, "Hey, I've seen this help me in my personal life. We'd like to see this in the clubhouse."
It's a great question. I think it's both and. I think the organization now really puts a premium on. Look, this is their big investments. Our team is our franchise. Our players are our product. So we need to take care of them in all assets, all phases. However, players do come to organizations and say, I think we need this. And now I know the Padres, like if somebody comes and says, I need a specific, radar machine, like to watch me pitch or whatever, they'll look at it, and then most of the time they buy it, they purchase it, and they'll put it in the clubhouse or the training facility or whatever. We have a relationship with Point Loma Nazarene University where they have a pitching and lab, like a biomechanics lab where guys can go and really get analyzed and break down over there. And you're talking about you're trying to hit a round ball with a round bat going 95 miles an hour. It's literally centimeters that make a difference. So
Yeah.
everybody's looking for an edge.
It is known to be one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Your eyes. The amount of time it takes for your eyes to register your brain at that speed is.
Yeah, think of it. I mean, it's milliseconds. It's 60 feet away. So you have to take a certain number of those milliseconds to identify the ball, see where it is, decide to swing or not, and then deliver the barrel to that baseball in a millimeter of a space.
It's amazing.
It's really I don't know how guys do it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I never got past T-ball. But I'm sure that didn't surprise you.
Well, that's why, my class, I played a lot of golf. I played golf growing up. My dad played college golf, so I'm pretty low handicap. And people are like, gosh, how'd you get so good at golf? I'm like, the ball doesn't move. How tough can it be?
Yeah.
I would say something like that. It's like,
there's some truth to it,
just
right?
sitting there.
The ball's going to be there. When you swing, it's going to be there. It's not breaking. There's no knuckle. There's no spin on it.
You should see me try to
can't
hit
hit
a golf
this ball.
though. You'd probably be like, well, there's some people that are just challenged.
Well, that's true.
That's
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, you've made that clear that you're challenged.
And
go out there with a baseball bat. That's it.
I like to take like 40 practice swings. I just want people to understand my process
That's great.
before I connect and slice it. All right.
So one thing we have not gotten into is what you're doing currently.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
What is your? I know early on we were I think going to jump into that, but what do you? Why don't you explain what it is you're doing now with the Padres?
Yeah, if I knew, I would tell you. No. So it's really a mixed bag of stuff. My title is Special Assistant to the CEO, which really doesn't mean anything other than I'm really kind of an ambassador for the team. I work with Jeff Farmer on the corporate sales area, entertaining corporate sponsors, things like that, the season ticket holders, and then Tom Seidler, who was Peter Seidler's brother, who Peter just passed away this past offseason, who was the owner. He runs the Padres Foundation, and it's really grown in the last 5 or 10 years to the point where it's several $1 million in the corpus. So I work in the community relations area. We go out to schools. We partner with a lot of different charities, things like that. And then I also work in the player development area. Like today, I'm going to drive up to Lake Elsinore and see our single A team. I'll sit on the bench during the game. I'll interact with the coaches. I'll talk to the players. I'm around sort of question and answer, a little bit of instruction, things like that. So really a lot of different phases, which I love because it's the whole organization. As a player, you're so locked in on your performance and stuff. You don't really even think about the business side of it.
Yeah,
this is a massive business. We're hosting 81 day events where there's 40,000 people here, not to mention the concerts that are held here, et cetera, et cetera. It's a big production. There are a lot of employees here on all kinds of different areas, not even mentioning the game day employees. There's thousands of game day employees, or hundreds probably, or ushers and work concessions and all that stuff. It's a big production.
Yeah.
So.
No, it really is. Actually, it was great to hear from Jeff, and Dan as well. Yesterday they came in and talked to our whole team about the inner workings of, and
Yeah.
you don't know it. Things just work, right? But then when you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, there's a whole process to this.
Yeah, and from your perspective, I mean, having a partnership with the Padres, it's a win-win, I would assume, because you get access and exposure to a great demographic, and we get to have your wine in the ballpark, which is very unique. I don't think many ballparks do that. Some do, obviously, but it's a cool synergy between the two. I would
It's
imagine.
like anything else, right? What does the customer want, and if you try it out and the shoe fits, they like it, you keep going with it, you expand upon that idea.
Right.
And this is a great venue for it. I mean, this is
Yeah.
the Padres, your customers, if you want to call them that, your fan base. They're the right fan base for our wines as well.
Right.
They understand culture. They obviously love great things because they live in San Diego.
Yeah. Right.
But having the reaction to the wines within the stadium has been really phenomenal.
That's
and
right.
then what we can do outside of the stadium as well with it. So,
Are there other wine companies that partner with sports franchise? I haven't seen a lot of them.
I mean, I think the way it's been traditionally has been the lower end.
Yeah.
It's kind of an afterthought.
The Blue Nuns of the world?
Yeah, it's like throw some white zin in there, some whatever sweet
Right.
Riesling.
Yeah.
And so realizing that not just here, but I think many of the other stadiums and franchises have realized that people want that elevated experience. They want
Right.
great food. And here in San Diego, having we were talking yesterday about it. It was like the best tacos out of San Diego. They're here.
Yeah.
The best offerings in cuisine, beer, everything is reflected within this stadium. And I think having that for the entire customer base or people coming in, from out of town to experience that in one location is phenomenal.
Yeah,
And that's the
so
direction I think it's all going, or it should go, because that's really what you want to provide as kind of you have an international group coming in every time you open the doors of this place.
That's right.
Whether you want to admit it or not, it's it's not just your locals.
No, not at
you
all.
want to showcase what you've got here.
And I think, a lot of kudos go to the ownership group. This building's 20 years old, but
And
it
it's
doesn't.
beautiful.
It feels like it's less than 5 years old, and
Yeah.
that's the whole point. They
Yeah.
invest in it every year. They expand on it. They maintain it so well. And obviously, baseball is our product, but the experience coming down to Petco is a huge part of it. Can I get a great taco? Can I get a great glass of wine? What it's going to be sunny. It's just a great overall experience, irrespective of the game, which is also great.
And what I think is great too is that, I mean, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you're also selling tickets where people will come out here and they may not have seats here, but they just want to be in the whole community. You have people like just out in the park, they want to watch on the big screen, but just to hear the cheers, to be there and the live,
exciting.
live and stuff like that. You have so much offerings. So.
What I was
guys-
surprised about yesterday was, so this is a Wednesday game, middle of the day, and we're out there like before we came into the park, and I'm like, do people not have jobs in San Diego? It's like how many? Like it was 40,000 people or 35,000 people?
Yeah.
Middle of the day on a Wednesday. I'm like, it's
incredible.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
No, and school's back in session. I mean, I'm blown away. I was here as a player from 2004, 5, and 6, or 3, 4, 5, I should say, and that's when Petco opened, 2004. So I was on the first team that opened this building. The first couple years, shiny new building, big crowds, et cetera, and then the franchise kind of fell off in terms of the baseball side of it, and it might be a big crowd, might be 15 or 20,000. Now, to your point, a Monday night, a Tuesday night, a Wednesday afternoon, 40,000 people here. It's just incredible. For me, I'm blown away at what this franchise and this ownership group, what all the whole thing has done. It's become a source of pride for the community, which is what I love,
Yeah.
because we've raised 2 kids here. My son just moved to New York to start his life and start a job, but he's always watching the Padres. He's all into it. My daughter, same way. They're always wearing Padre gear. It's just a source of pride for the community, which I love.
Yeah.
And I just want to know, like, through generation, I mean, are they going to be in the baseball business, or they're doing?
No. My son played baseball in high school and stuff, but like he had other interests. He became a pilot early. he's working for a bank, and he's going to try his hand at investment banking in Manhattan. So he's a pretty driven kid in that regard. My daughter's she'll be a sophomore at Santa Clara, so she's up in San Jose.
Nice.
Which is a great spot.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's all good.
He's got one of his young sons pilot as well, right?
Oh,
Well,
really?
yeah, he's got like 15 hours.
Cool.
And
That is really
How old is he?
it's 13.
Wow. Yeah, you can get your license at 16, isn't it? Or 15?
17.
17?
You can solo, I think it's solo at 16.
Yeah.
And then you get your solo hours, and then you can actually get your license.
Wait till you go up with him for the first time solo, one-on-one. I did that with my son, Frankie. And I was like...
At what age?
He was 18.
Okay.
And I'm like,
Still scary.
it's a 172. I'm like, single engine. I'm like, I'm going to put my life in my son's hands right now. Like, I was a little nervous. But then, he gets on the headset, calling it all out. And we go up. I got a great video of it. He lets me take the reins and stuff. And, he had it down. So, and he did the ground school and all that stuff. We were very adamant about that,
Yeah.
And he's more mature than me. So it was good. It was good to see. He's an old soul. But, yeah. How many kids do you have?
I've got 6.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
Yeah,
You told me
yeah.
that. Yeah.
But
That's it?
That's it. Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah.
I clipped him.
You did?
Yeah.
How'd that go?
Actually, it was very easy.
Oh, what?
I've talked about this before, but I gotta say, it was so
Okay.
that, like, I think that if you have a son, once they hit puberty, they should get a vasectomy.
Oh.
So you don't have to worry about shit.
And then
until
reverse
they
it?
get married and they're ready to have a family, and then reverse it.
Wow.
Yeah, he's starting the revolution.
So I've got 4 boys, and I tried to convince them. No, not a single one is
How'd
like,
your
yeah,
wife feel about
yeah,
that?
that's a great idea.
God, the birds and the bees talk has really changed,
Yeah.
right?
Wow.
Yeah.
You're a pioneer in a lot of areas.
I know. That's a nice way to put it.
Yep.
20 years from now, this will be a thing. And I'm like, I heard that first on this podcast.
Yeah, no shit. Wouldn't that be nice?
Elective vasectomies at 13 years old.
I don't want to be a grandparent yet. That's the
yeah.
thing, I've got 2
Although I
that
heard
are-
that's awesome, by the way. So a lot of our friends now are starting to become grandparents. They heard that's the best because you get all the great
Drop
things
them back
about it. You
off.
drop them off. Yeah, pretty awesome.
I've got 2 that are adults now, turned 18 in January, and one of them, my daughter, is actually at Camp Pendleton right now.
Oh,
so
great.
Joined the Marines.
Awesome.
Going through basic training. She's over halfway through, and
It's phenomenal. Well,
sounds like it's
yeah,
good.
gotta
And,
love her.
and that's another thing. So we partnered with the USO. And that's been great for our business, it's, meaningful cause for us.
Yes.
But you guys also are big military supporters here with
sure.
the Padres.
Yeah.
Was this the first franchise to really do that?
I think it was the first franchise to really take it to another level. We have so many military, family and installations here with the Navy and Pendleton, the Marines. I mean, it's all over the place. So, every Sunday we wear a camouflage uniform, and most Sundays the newest Marine Corps recruits are here for the game. They play the Marine Corps hymn in the 8th inning. It's fantastic. But yeah, I would definitely say we call ourselves a team in the military, and I think if you just ask Major League Baseball, it's certainly the case.
Have other teams adopted that as well, or tried to mimic what you guys are doing? 'Cause
Yeah, but we're so unique because we have
you have so much
right here.
Yeah.
I think, I'm not sure what other teams do exactly, but every team honors the military in some way,
Yeah.
but not to the level that we're able to do. We have a full-time staff that's military affairs relations.
Oh, hell
We
yeah.
have
I
two
know that. That's
full-time
awesome.
employees on staff that, are Johnny Nielsen, who's a retired, high-level Navy guy. Before him, it was Captain Jack Inch, who was a POW in Vietnam, who was in that position. So it's pretty cool, and they bring in 4-star generals. I mean, we get some amazing people coming in here, and it's pretty easy to get a flyover for those guys too. I mean, we have awesome flyovers. The guys jump in with their parachutes occasionally. It's pretty cool.
That is awesome.
That is awesome.
Yeah, I got to come down for one of those games.
Yeah, we took.
Oh, yeah.
So my player development role, one year we took some of our newest minor league players came out for a little kind of introduction to Petco and worked out in the off season. One of the events was we took them over to the SEAL Training Center and watched those guys go through some of their rope climbing and stuff like that, and then showed them here's the bell. So here's the bell. Like when you go through Hell Week, all you got to do is ring the bell and you're done. We'll bring you some hot chocolate and coffee, no problem. And it's literally right there in the middle of the whole thing, and talk about special individuals. I mean, those special warfare
yeah.
guys are unbelievable.
So we just finished up our national sales meeting here. We brought the whole team in. I don't know, 70 people or so. Enjoyed the game yesterday. Awesome.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, that was really great. And so we do team building, is what we try to do every national sales meeting. Usually it's once, twice a year. And so I had the idea. I'm like, why don't we do, if we're going to San Diego, and there were so many reasons to come to San Diego for the national sales meeting. It's like, why don't we do team building as SEAL training?
Yeah.
HR got involved and decided that was not the best idea.
Yeah.
And
Couldn't you do SEAL training light? I mean,
that's what I was thinking in the first place.
Yeah.
I was like, we can do a small version of it. You carry in logs and how long can you sit in the ocean, whatever, like all that. But anyways, nowadays with our sissy culture, it was like, all right, whatever. We don't want lawsuits, so we had to scrap that.
got it. It was a good idea.
I thought it was a great idea.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or just stay quiet about it.
So what'd you end up doing? Did you play bingo or something in team building? What'd you do?
We ended up singing last night.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. We went straight to
Back
the
to
old
that.
standard of everybody
Yeah.
drinking too much. That was
That's never failed.
I mean, when you see your boss get on stage of a dueling pianos and do Britney Spears' "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time,"
Wow.
it's a moment that's branded in your brain.
I bet.
we're gonna have to splice that into this, but no,
We
they
will.
all of a sudden
we
I'm
will.
getting
on
called.
video?
Don't worry.
I'm getting called up on
That way you can see
stage,
it.
and they start singing it, and they're like, "Dance for me" or "Dance for us," and I'm like, "I'm not a good dancer."
Right.
So I went over and I took the microphone and I was like, "Hey, you guys keep playing. I'm gonna sing this."
I'm gonna take this shit over. You guys keep playing. I got my own lyrics. Oh, Joe, I'm the boss. Oh my god. They call me the boss for a reason. Okay. You got me. Oh, we're singing, baby. Oh shit. I'm yours. It's something wasn't right, yeah. Go pretty, baby. I should've done that. You go. Joe. Now you're right outside. Fucking show me how you want it to be. Fucking tell me, baby. 'Cause I need to know now. What we got. Yeah, it's killing me. I must confess, I still believe. When I'm not with you, I lose my mind. Give me a sign. Fucking hit me, baby, one more time.
Dropped a couple F-bombs in there.
Nice.
Had some fun. Yeah, that was good. Good times.
I will
Is that when your nose got messed up? Or
No,
was that-
I don't know
I
when the
think
nose
that's
got
how
messed
it
up.
went. Was from the mic?
I think
Where you get doing a little boop?
so.
Maybe.
No, I
Hit
actually
me maybe one more time. I mean,
Yeah, I know.
So there was a girl there, and we started dancing, and my wife didn't like it,
Oh,
and
Can we play that video?
I can't imagine why.
And so she comes over, and we were
Was it
like,
because you were a bad dancer or because the girl was attractive?
it was like ballroom dancing, and she was like dancing with a brick, honestly.
Okay.
And so within like 30 seconds, my wife comes over, cuts in, and maybe gives her a little shove.
It
and
was
then,
so
and
awesome
then,
and
and then
you guys start going into
and then we started
the wall?
dancing, and my wife is a way better dancer than this other girl was. So it's like
Way.
we got to remind ourselves sometimes that we got a good thing, right? So that was my reminder
course.
last night. I was like, my wife's awesome.
So what happened to your nose then?
I think
It sounds like you had a discussion after.
I
Tom.
think that we had a discussion while we were
During.
dancing.
Yeah.
She did not wait.
That's awesome.
It was fun though.
Oh man.
Yeah, good
Yeah.
times.
I think you should have your national sales meeting here every year. I mean, why
I
wouldn't you?
Oh.
I would not be surprised. I think everybody's
Or every other year. I mean, you mix it in the rotation for sure.
Yeah, but I think so. We asked. It was yesterday or 2 days ago. We asked the whole team how many people had not been to San Diego, and I got to say it was like 40% of the people on
wow.
our team had not been to San Diego. And this, I mean, mostly national. Everybody's here in the U.S., so you have a very broad spectrum of where people are from. But It's like if you have not been to San Diego, it is one of the best cities in the country.
I agree.
It's gorgeous, got tons of stuff to do all year round. Like, I don't know why people have this infatuation with LA. It's like they come here, they got to go to Hollywood and LA and whatever else. It's like, just fuck that. Go to San Diego.
Yeah. No, and I grew up in LA. I'm from
Yeah.
Pasadena, Arcadia area, and yeah, I mean, just San Diego is much more laid back.
Oh yeah.
But you also have what you have in San Diego is a concentrated downtown that you don't have in LA.
Yeah.
LA is so spread out. But you can come down here and you can do all the beach stuff. You can come to Petco. You can go see a show. Great restaurants. It's pretty cool. And of course you got all the other activities, up and down the coast. But yeah, it's a special place.
For sure.
Yeah.
I mean, national sales meeting maybe in the stadium. I don't know. I'm just gonna throw that out there.
Yeah. Once you get 40,000 reps, then we'll do
Yeah,
it.
no, that's
Okay, we'll work on that
getting
one.
there.
That was a good.
Yeah.
All right, Joe, that's you. That's all I-
40,000,
I'll leave it.
and why don't we also have Aerosmith come in
you can
and
be-
truly retire?
You can be the first group to ever rent out Petco for a game. That would be awesome. Let's make that a goal.
Yeah.
Organizational goal.
Because I was thinking instead of like Navy SEAL drills, then we'll do like baseball
BP.
drills. You could put us through
Sure.
coaching. Yeah.
Absolutely. I'll throw some batting practice to you. And
Just knuckle
I'll
balls.
put it on a
please.
tee for you.
Thanks, Mark. Oh,
Well,
this has been awesome time.
Yeah, Mark,
Yeah.
thank you very much for taking
My
the time.
pleasure, guys. Yeah.
Thanks for hosting us here at Petco Park. It really
bad
was a
place.
phenomenal, 2 days now being here. And we'll look forward to hosting you up in Wine Country.
I'd love that. That'd be great.
Thank you for sharing your family wine with us.
You got it.
Hell
I
yeah.
hope it exceeded your expectations.
I was very impressed. Very impressed. I think it'll hold on
it's
for
all
it'll hold on for a long time.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good deal. All right.
Hey, Mark,
That's
thank you
awesome,
so
man.
much.
That was great.
Appreciate
Yeah,
it.
thank you.
Thanks, Joe. All right,
All
man.
right. Peace.
Signing off.